Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will cover for loop and while loop difference. So let's start now. The for loop is basically the counter. Means definition used when you know the exact number of iteration beforehand. Before the iterate the loop, we know that how many times the loop run or executed. But another side, the while loop, the condition keeper means used when you don't know how many times to repeat, but you know the condition that must be met. You in before the while loop we start, we don't know how many times the while loop run or execute, but we know only the condition. If the condition false, so the loop break. If the condition true, so loop run. So how many times the while loop run, this have no idea. So basically the first difference is in the for loop we know that how many times the loop iterate, and in the while loop we don't know how many times the loop iterate, we only know the condition. The second is the for loop is we know the number of steps, means how many times the iterate the loop, but in the while loop unknown number of steps. So basically the second step is similar to the first step. The third difference is the formula. Explain the three parts inside the parenthesis. When we write the for loop, so inside the parenthesis, three parts we write in the for loop. First initialization, second condition, and third is update. And in the while loop, it only check the condition. In the parenthesis, we write in the while loop only condition. The initialization before the condition and the update after the condition. The initialization happen before the loop and update happen inside the body. So this is the third difference between for loop and the while loop. The fourth difference is the example. So the in the for loop first we write the for keyword, and in the parenthesis first we initialization, then condition, then update. But in the while loop, first initialization before the condition, then write the condition, and then update. So basically this is the example of for loop and the while loop. Fifth difference is why use the while for loop. Use this when you have a start point and end point. It keep your code dry, don't repeat yourself, because the counter is managed right in the header. Because in the for loop, when we initialization, we know that the initialization point and end of the point, we know that in the for loop how many times the loop iterate. But in the another side, while loop, use this when you are waiting for something to change, like boolean flag become true or a user type exist. So in the while loop we only know that the condition if false, so the loop exists. So basically this is the difference between for loop and the while loop. And the last different between for loop and while loop is scope. In a for loop, the variable I usually dies when the loop end, but in the while loop, the variable you are checking usually live on after the loop in finished. So basically the I in the for loop a die in the scope when the parenthesis use and the curly bracket, but in the while loop we use after the write the loop, we also access the I. So basically variable. So basically this is the important difference between the for loop and the while loop. So thank you everyone. I hope you all understand the difference between for loop and while loop. And if you want I make a new video, a new topic, so please comment on the below. Thank you everyone.